When I first started this project, I had a creative and ambitious dream for this video. The people starring in it deserve the best. However, I've arrived at the place in which we can't wait for perfection. It's time to get to the point. The video you are about to see was filmed in April of 2019. Since then, Jen is facing additional health struggles, and it's time to bypass special effects perfection and share this love story. Isn't that true love anyway? Raw, uncut, unedited. Launch your YouTube to play the music links and grab your tissues for the laughs and the tears. I had never met Jen nor Joe and only knew of Joe through mutual friends on Facebook. The more posts that I saw, the more questions I was left with. Joe is so funny. What happened to his fiancée? She can't walk? When did they meet? When did he propose? Will she ever walk again? And my morbid curiosity asked, how are they making it work? I'm a sucker for love stories, and I wanted to know more. I contacted Joe through Facebook. He and Jen were kind enough to invite me into their home after I'd basically invited myself over to interview them. We started from the beginning. Like so many, their connection began on Facebook, although it is still up for debate as to who requested whose friendship first.
Well, we had mutual friends on Facebook, and you sent me a friend request.
There's no way.
Because you said you were always flirting back and forth with me, and I'm like, who is this chick? But then I see that your relationship, so I'm like, I don't want anything to do with it because you had. You sent me the friend. Did you not send me the friend request?
I did not. You sent it to me.
No, you sent it to me.
100%.
Oh my god.
After 2 years of not communicating on Facebook, they reconnected and planned a first meeting face-to-face. It was at this point in the interview that I had discovered Jen is just as funny as Joe, if not more so. This is what she had to say about seeing Joe for the first time when she picked him up for their first date.
When I had told you I was 5'2", but then you told me.
No, you're full of it.
No.
He said to me that he was 5'5".
No.
I pull up in his driveway, he comes out of the house, and he's freaking like 5'1". And I'm like,
Get the fuck out! Get out of here!
Where's the rest of this guy?
Get out! No way in hell!
So then I couldn't look at him.
She couldn't look at me the whole time. We're driving. I see this Alice. I got a good look of her ear the whole time there because she's looking this way.
I just was like, I can't believe he's like 5'1".
Yeah, you didn't. You're such a liar. You're such a liar.
I cannot believe this.
I loved the energy between Jen and Joe from the start. They were both open to just about any question that I had to ask. We started off day one discussing Jen's health issues and the timing of their courtship. After their first date, the two were inseparable. Joe was aware that Jen had been diagnosed with parathyromatosis, but at that time, it was not aggressive. Jen nor Joe anticipated how serious the illness would become in 2016. Between the hospital and rehab, Jen was away from home for 6 months. Joe stayed with her and kept her spirits up by playing games like Chinese checkers. Joe snuck her out from the hospital from time to time as well. One of Jen's favorite memories is when they charged the IV machine, covered the pole with a sweatshirt, and Joe pushed her wheelchair 6 blocks to Northwestern. They tailgated with hot dogs and beer. Unfortunately, because of some social media posts about the tailgating, Jen was found out by her nurse friends and grounded to the hospital property after that. They watched the Cubs win the World Series together in the hospital. Although she could not walk due to the illness, Jen was able to return home by the end of 2016 because doctors had found a temporary solution through surgery. Following another procedure in 2017, she was able to walk again after relearning how. Then things took a turn for the deadly worst. On New Year's Eve, going into 2018, Jen was septic and only had hours to live. Doctors had called Joe and Jen's family to the hospital to say goodbye to her. Miraculously, Jennifer survived, but not without an extremely difficult hospital stay in the ICU, which included a medically induced coma. Since then, Jen is now required to receive dialysis 3 times a week. She has lost any ability to walk and is confined to a motorized wheelchair. I asked Joe how he gets through the hardest of times.
No, I'm just kidding.
What did you say, Joe?
Nothing. I'm hoping that she leaves me something. That's why I'm sticking around.
She'll leave you with a broken heart.
No, but seriously, I just kidding.
I believe laughter is the best medicine, but underneath the smiles, there still exists pain.
But like every emotion I've ever had has always been masked with humor. Like if I'm sad, I'll
Make a joke.
make a joke. If you see it on Facebook, everyone's oh, Joe's hilarious today. Well, that's because I'm feeling the worst.
Oh,
That's where I'm feeling my worst. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you're the funniest. And I get messages, random messages from people I don't even know. Hi, I'm the friend of your friend's wife's brother. I cannot believe how funny you are. You get me through some days that I don't think I can make it through, which is very flattering, but they don't realize how much they're getting me through the day by just responding, I guess, you know? Yeah.
And I asked him one time, I'm like, what are you going to do at my funeral? And he said, I might laugh.
I might
I'm
laugh.
like, you asshole.
Because I just didn't want,
As
as a protector, I guess you always kind of try to hide everything. And I know your mother does it too. She tries to protect you I know she needs a good breakdown. I think we all do, but it's not the right time. We still have a lot of work to do to get you back to health, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it. We always have.
Their commitment and undeniable true love for each other was revealed in this portion of our conversation. When did Joe propose? With no shortage of perfectly placed jokes, they told me the story.
You don't want them to go anywhere. And sometimes you overdo it, where you're overbearing. And she always would tell me, before you can make anybody else happy, you have to be happy with yourself. Remember, you used to fucking say that all the time.
You gotta love yourself.
You gotta love yourself before you love anybody else. And until she was in the hospital, that was the other way around.
That was a little different story.
I know, but finally, after she got back from the hospital, after the coma scare, we were heading somewhere, and we said, let's go to Jared, just kind of look around. We were going to somebody's wedding.
Yeah, we went to a friend's wedding.
A friend's wedding. And we're like, let's go to Jared to kind of look around.
We were just going into
We were kind of just to look, you know, and she knew what she wanted. She didn't want me to get away. So, but we went in there, and
He was walking around looking for diamonds.
yeah, I was on the ground, and they're like, what are you doing on the ground? I'm like, I'm looking for any diamonds that might have fallen down here. And the lady's like, what are you doing? The lady who was selling me the diamond. And I'm like, look at that little white spot there. Is that a diamond? Like, no, it was like a piece of salt.
He had them rolling.
They were like dying laughing, but I'm like, no. And I was the one that was dying laughing at the end when they fucking charged $1,000 for the goddamn ring. And I was
Is that
like,
the one you're wearing
And
now?
I was like,
yeah. And she's like,
see it.
oh, that's a Lois Lane ring or whatever the hell.
Neil Lane.
Neil Lane.
I only knew Neil Lane because of The Bachelor.
Oh.
So it was just kind of like, oh, cool. I have, you know,
It was last year.
last year.
Last year.
A year, almost
June 23rd.
coming up on a year only. And I mean, to me, I wouldn't have had it any other way because it was, I don't know. But I didn't want her to think I was joking because
Because he had been joking about it for so many years.
I had, and it was like a running joke. But
And I was always like, I don't want to get married. I've been married. I've done that. You've been married.
we've always said that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see myself with anybody else. You know, I don't see myself with anybody else, and
Nobody else would put
nobody else would put up with me. I have too many quirks, and like everybody only sees like the funny stuff or whatever, but they don't see.
Here, Joe confirmed that Jem was already unable to walk at the time that he proposed.
I was already.
She was already.
Yeah, I was already in the chair, and
Yeah.
it was the engagement too came at a time where we really needed something to look forward to.
And we hate to put it that way because it doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right,
but I think it was also taken the wrong way because I love her and I want to be with her and I want to marry her and we want to get married.
Right.
But everyone's like, oh, and not everyone, but a lot of people were like, oh, that's so nice of you. And I was like,
Nice of you.
I'm not trying to be nice. I love her. I want to be with her. And I even had people go, that's a real nice thing you're doing for Jen. Oh, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean? I don't think they understand that. Even with her limitations, I don't care. And I told her one time, joking around, she said to me, what if I can't move? Oh, because after the coma, her arm had they hit a nerve and she couldn't move her arm. So I was feeding her, and I was kind of like missing her on purpose, missing her face. And she was just like, God damn it. And I said, she goes, baby, what if I can't move my arms? I said, well, if you were only a head, I would still comb your hair. That's what I said. That's what I said. And I remember this.
I would love you even if you were just a head.
I would love you even if you were just a head and all I could do is comb your hair. That's exactly what I said. As I'm missing her head with the food, like all over, she's like, God damn it, and her shirt's all full of food right here. Yeah. But it's true. Because once you find somebody that you want to be with, it doesn't matter what their limitations are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say it's not frustrating. We can't do the things we used to do. But no. Even if she kicked me out, I'd find a window. I'd still come in one of the. I know the basement window downstairs is kind of rickety. Don't get that with you. I know. Be like this. No, but yeah.
Jen, have you ever thought about, is he just doing this to be nice?
No.
No, because I'm an asshole.
No, I honestly never thought that he was doing it to be nice because he had talked about it so much prior to. So it was a little bit surprised when he would tell me that people were saying that you're doing a nice thing for Jen because it's like, I'm still a person. I'm still
right.
worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I have all the abilities that I once did, but it's just not.
I next asked Joe and Jen if they had an idea of what type of ceremony they would like.
Getting a blessing or something.
Yeah.
Like, he wears his wedding ring. I had to look to make sure he had it on.
I have it on.
And I wear my wedding ring.
I only take it off when I leave the house.
Like, to us, we're already married.
Yeah, more of a celebration of us because we're not going anywhere. We're going to be. This is our normal. It's just I've got to.
Joe was often asked, how is Jen?
Ask me like, how is she doing physically? How is Jen? And you don't know how to answer that question because I guess stable would be the best possible word. You're not worse, but you're not better.
Right.
So when people ask me, I'm like, she's stable, and they kind of look at me like they don't, oh, she's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Is she walking yet? They don't understand the magnitude of what you're up against.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of like, no, that's maybe down the road, even though we know it's probably not going to be not real feasible. Mm-hmm. It becomes your normal. It becomes your normal.
Joe told me he visits his mom often, but soon after he's been away from Jen, he misses her.
I do. I miss her. I miss her. I miss being nagged. You do too. Yeah.
We also talked about Jen's social life and how it has changed over the past 3 years.
You know the worth of your friendships when you don't have anything to offer them. And if they still stick around, those are your true friends. People she's met through me care more now and ask about her more now than
I would have to say I have new friends.
It's ridiculous.
Okay,
I mean, it's sad.
7 years.
It's just sad. And I just wanted to touch on that a little bit, but we can move on
You
from
find
that.
out. You find out who your friends are.
Yeah.
I asked Jen what would enrich her life.
Don't say John Stamos.
I don't know. I mean, I feel very blessed just being in the situation that I am in. That I'm not in a rehab center. I'm not in the hospital. So I'm home and I'm surrounded by my loved ones, and I really can't ask for much more than that.
That's what we all.
My biggest fear is that I'm gonna be put into.
And we've always told. We've told her before, as long as I am alive, or as long as her mother's alive, she's not going into a home. That's we've seen these.
Do you ever think about dying? I asked Jen. I noticed here how quick Joe was to wipe away Jen's tears and leave the table to return with tissues for her.
You want me to. And that is, do you think about dying?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. At least a couple times a week.
Yeah. I think we all do, but she does.
Yeah.
And
I think about, like, what happens if, I don't know that I get another 6 months in the hospital. I mean, I guess you do what you have to. But, I mean, I don't think about it as much as I did, but it still lingers in the back of my head. And I just try to take each day as it comes, one day at a time. This lady told me to celebrate each day like it's your birthday. So,
is that why we eat a lot of cake?
that's why we ate a lot of cake. That's why we go out a lot to eat and, you know,
Yeah.
just celebrate each day as it comes because
This is one of my favorite segments of our interview. To start, Joe explained that he checks Jen's breathing in the middle of the night to make sure she's still alive. She admitted she checks Joe sometimes as well. I said, that must be awful. Here, Joe thought I was talking to Jen. OMG.
So how often are you checking her like that?
I don't know. It just depends. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes just.
I check him too though because he'll stop breathing when he's sleeping and I'm just like,
If I'm not passing gas or snoring,
yeah,
something's
there's
wrong.
something wrong. But I mean, I
It's
think
gotta
I
be
felt,
terrifying.
Yeah, the
Every
gas.
time you check.
Oh.
Every time you check her.
I feel like I've known since I started talking to him deep down in my soul that he was the one. You know how you get those feelings? And,
I'm sure a lot of women have said that, honey.
I'm sure they have. But
I'm
I feel like-
kidding. I'm kidding. I just, yeah.
I feel like at least for me, I feel like I knew it.
I did too. I just.
And I kind of wonder, like, whoever goes first. Most likely it'll be me. Will the other one die of a broken heart because we're like kindred spirits, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
I don't know how I would survive without her.
I don't know how I would survive with
I mean, I obviously you would
figure it out.
You'd figure it out. I mean, you know, obviously you live for your children. I have a daughter. You live for your loved ones. But it's just something that we have that.
It's just.
I don't know. I don't know how to say it. You know, I wouldn't want to be annoyed by anybody else besides her. And I think the feeling is mutual. She always says that you annoy the F out of me.
But as soon as he's gone, I miss him.
But as soon as you leave, I miss you. So I try to annoy her more.
It's obvious that humor is a big part of their relationship. Off camera, I had made a comment about how funny Joe is on Facebook and that people should be paying him for his jokes. Jen replied, "Oh, I'm paying for them." When I asked how they make it through the hardest days.
And we kind of like giggle about it.
We get through. We just get through with Seinfeld.
I love it.
I concluded our last interview by thanking them and that I was left feeling inspired about finding a love like theirs one day. OMG, what Joe said next.
Maybe I'll find that one day.
We feel
Yeah, we just gotta look from the handicap spots.
hang out around the
Just right around the handicap spots at the stores. You'll find somebody like her.
hang out at the rehab centers.
Hang out at the rehab
Oh
center.
my gosh, you didn't say that!
Oh God. Yep. That's my baby.
Yeah, so cut.